I think a lot of people don't understand and the work that you do.
Hmm.
People come to you as a last resort.
Mm.
From the little you've shared with me, like how's your day, Kel? Like who do you know? The extraordinary, and I think that everybody knows the extraordinary drama.
Hmm.
And I mean, I guess from rape, murder, incest, the most terrible things humans can do
Hmm.
on our planet, like abhorrent.
Hmm.
They come to you in some fashion to, I think, right, and you tell me if I'm wrong, as to looking for closure, looking for answers,
Hmm.
looking for solace, forgiveness. I mean, it's all of that and mixed in there. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but I guess the relay of the amount of trauma you see and
Hmm.
experience because I experience it third hand and very
Yeah.
shrouded,
Hmm.
and I'm kind of like listening, kind of like, hey, that sounds, well, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess my question is that, how do you manage that trauma? How do you, because you see and experience that so often, how do you manage that with your psyche, with your mind,
Yeah.
everything?
Yeah. That's a great, um, deep question. With unfortunately, I don't feel a solid answer because I'm still navigating that.
Yeah,
Um, I think one of the difficulties in the West is that our healers, our psychics, our mediums, our empaths, um, can learn to develop their skills, but what is missing is how do we clean our energy?
yeah,
How do we allow it to flow um, sort of away from us? How do we maintain energetic hygiene? And
well, that's something that I think even me, Neanderthal Blake,
mhm.
i'm like I'm like, what are you talking about? Like I think it's something like I don't even understand exactly because I don't experience and see those things, and I
Right.
also am not in those situations, and I don't have the same gifts as you. So
Yeah, I mean, the same question could probably be asked in a different way of therapists,
sure.
counselors, psychiatrists,
I mean,
paramedics.
but I feel like in some ways, like they're detached from it,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you're sitting there, like in essence, like you're
seeing it.
seeing it and like experiencing. Because you've described different situations again, again protecting
Hmm.
everybody's anonymity,
Yeah,
but of like the situation, I'm just kind of like, oh my God,
yeah.
because you're experiencing it almost.
Hmm.
Is that how you
You do
describe it?
experience it, yeah. And I think, while spirit's gentle, kind of like the example with my mom and her grandfather, they also will show you a lot.
Right.
And there have been times where and I'm pretty gritty, I can see quite
Yeah.
a bit,
And
and I feel like I can and be okay. But there have been times that I'm like, okay, that was too much. Like I didn't need to see it in that great of detail. You could have just maybe told me, like, you don't need to show everything. Um, so I think, how do I manage it? I have to remind myself it's not mine.
yeah,
That's first. I cannot carry everything for everyone, nor should I, nor should anybody else. Carry nothing for no one is my imperfect grammatical, sort of motto. And I don't always do a great job at it, to be honest. I think because I'm human, there are times where I just cannot help but feel that grief. And
yeah,
the part of mediumship that I don't think very many people know unless they're mediums is that the faculty of mediumship works through the clairsentience, the gut feeling. So
yeah,
you feel sometimes that moment of death, or you feel what that person felt, what their loved one felt when they discovered them, or as they were giving them CPR, or when they picked their dead child up off the ground. you feel all of it. So you don't just see it, you also feel it. So you live it.
Yeah.
And some days I have 6 appointments back to back, and you live trauma after trauma after trauma, and it does take a toll. Like, I'm getting emotional just thinking about it, because there was one case that was a mother that lost her perfect 2-year-old toddler in a really traumatic way, and I just cried with her through the session. I don't even think the mediumship was very good, to be honest, because I saw it, and then I just sort of fell apart.
Yeah.
Um, so, but there is an importance in backing away and allowing spirit to move in and do their work. And that's the channel part. That's the mediumship. Because if I get in the way, if I allow my emotions to overwhelm me and overtake me, like I did with that 2-year-old toddler and the mother, it's not as accurate. The messages aren't as clear. So I show up like an EMT would to an emergency scene. I show up knowing this is my work.
Right.
I'm a human, I'm an empath, I'm a medium, I'm a spiritual being. But I'm working. So I have to show up, I have to hold the container, I have to, filter what I see, because that person's lost their loved one. I don't need to re-traumatize them.